Hey, 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 we're talking about the TRICANNON today. This is my 4th tower review video. And again, this is what they say it is. They've got a pretty good amount of attack, a very, very, very slow attack, and then the range is not super duper good, but it doesn't seem to bother me much. Skills-wise, we've got Overheat, which makes them shoot a bunch of red-hot bombs, scorching the ground to deal true damage to enemies, which is kind of cool. And then we've got the Bombardment, which just shoots a crap ton of bombs all over the place outside of its range as well, dealing a bunch of physical damage in addition. So you really have to see this one in play before you can even know or understand what it does. So let's just jump into a game here and show it off. So of course, all of our gameplay is going to be done on the Blighted Farmlands, just to make things even and fair between different towers here. I think it's just fair to do it. So here we go, Bombardment, TRICANNON level 1. Level 2 is going to do 9 to 13 damage. Level 3 is going to do 17 to 26 damage, and again, it does group damage, or explosive damage. And then once you get to a tier 4, which is also very expensive, by the way, we're spending a lot of money to get these things, we're going to get to 28 to 42 damage. So that's probably the biggest weakness of the TRICANNON, is you have to spend so much money on it to make this stuff happen. But if you're going to get him, I recommend going for first tiers of both of them first. Get 1 level of Bombardment and get 1 level of Overheat here. I'm going to send out the next wave here, and we're going to see this guy in action. So, it's overall pretty reasonably powerful. Just straight up. Like, as far as an early game Bombardment cannon goes, it's pretty powerful, but the main weakness of it is the fact that you cannot buy the abilities here, which are really, really important to get him to be useful early on in the game, because you just don't have enough money. You don't make enough money to even afford a lot of these abilities in level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, it's very difficult to make it happen. So there's the Bombardment. You see just throwing a bunch of cannons all over, or a bunch of cannonballs all over the place. Don't forget that we do a triple shot here, which aims different guys at the same time. So we get a lot of, like, ranged explosions all over the place. Another Bombardment happening, which, again, the cooldown just doesn't make sense on that. It's way quicker than it says it should be, so is what it is. And as soon as we can, we're going to go for another Bombardment, which does even more damage and shoots out an even wider area. You can see that even against these big, beefy guys, we're able to take them down fairly easily with an artillery. But it's all because we're spending a lot of money on it. Okay, all the money is spent on this one tower, and we still have not even gotten close to spending all the money that we can on this guy. So definitely keep that in mind here. It's an expensive tower to get. You're investing a lot of money in it, but because of that, you're getting a lot of benefit out of it. Plus, fiery true damage, always good against enemies with armor and whatnot. I don't mind him at all. Like, for getting him for an early-ish game tower, sometimes you worry that, like, oh, they're going to give me all the crappy towers at the beginning, so I can never get something actually good. Of course, I'm going to learn something new at the end of the game, but you could use a TRICANNON the entire game and still not be upset about it, okay? Especially if you have a lot of good Paladin Covenants or whatnot to block people in, or even a weird Demon Pit or something like that to block guys in here. Any which way you're doing it, you could block them in here and do tons of damage and make this a very efficient and reasonable tower to use in your team. So, you can tell we did great. Rock solid, actually. So, if I have to review the TRICANNON here, I'm going to give it a pretty good rating. I'm going to give it a solid 8. All right? I don't feel like it's unusable in any way, shape, or form. There's no time where I'm like, oh, I could never use the TRICANNON. But that being said, I tend not to use it as much as I usually like to, because I don't find that many choke points in the game. They really don't give you choke points, except on a few maps here, like this one. So the artillery in general in this game is not going to be super duper clutch or super duper easy to use, for sure. So just watch out for that in general. Any which way, if you guys enjoyed, press that like button, subscribe, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.